Florida Congressman Byron Donalds lays an absolute smackdown on a ridiculously biased and terrible CNN host who just can't seem to be honest or even try to look unbiased. Guys, the media is out of control, but thankfully we've got some conservative warriors like Byron to tell it how it is. So we're gonna get right into it, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. But first, everybody, please help me out. Do me a big favor here. Like our video, share it around, and if you are new, subscribe to the Resist the Mainstream YouTube channel so we can keep bringing you guys this great content. As always, everybody, I'm your host, Darian. Let's get into the show.
All right, joining us right now is Republican Congressman from Florida, Trump campaign surrogate Byron Donalds. Congressman, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Bouncing off the conversation that Harry and Sarah were just having, how undecided do you think the diminishing number of undecided voters really are this election at this point?
I believe they're somewhat undecided. I think they're juggling through the realities of America. Number one, the economy, this massive inflation created by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. The immigration problems in our country are real. They're looking at that. But then I also do believe they're having to juggle with also a lot of the rhetoric that's out there in terms of where the country's going and who's going to protect the country. And I think if you look at the facts are very clear that Donald Trump addresses the issues that concerns Americans, the economy, our borders, and our foreign policy. And what Vice President Harris is talking about is not those issues. She's talking about wanting to look forward, or unfortunately, there's still a lot of negative rhetoric coming from her campaign, basically saying, her and her surrogates, that Donald Trump is some threat to democracy, which is a flat out lie. And that lie can be proven to be a lie because he was already president of the United States. The country was thriving when he was president of the United States, and there were no new wars when he was president of the United States.
What does Kamala Harris mean by looking forward? Is it even more inflation than we've already had?
Come on now, dawg. Come on, man.
Less Americans being able to afford homes, which is already at an astonishingly terribly low rate of who can afford a home? Is it more sex changes for children? Is it millions and millions of more illegal immigrants running into the United States, flooding it? What is looking forward? I'm really curious about that. Kamala, tell us.
In terms of rhetoric, do you think Donald Trump and the Trump campaign, do you think they have a problem with rhetoric as well?
You know who has a problem with rhetoric, because he literally can't talk? Joe Biden. His economy is similarly anemic, guys, and that is why I have decided to invest in gold, and you should too. All right, guys, we have partnered with Goldco. It is a great company, highly rated, high customer service, so check it out. Go to rtmgold.com. You can type the link in your web browser or click in your description. Guys, you can roll over your IRA or 401k penalty and tax-free with the deal with Goldco. Yes, you heard that right, penalty and tax-free. What's more, you can get a free gold kit with that too. So check it out, everybody. Go to rtmgold.com, click the link in your description or type in your web browser. Once again, that's rtmgold.com.
No, and I don't. I think especially in light of the fact that there has now been a second assassination attempt on the life of President Trump, I do not believe so. What we are seeing now is that you do have radical elements of the Democrat Party, people who have been radicalized by the hateful rhetoric from Democrat officials, talking about how he's a threat to democracy, but that's simply not true. Talking about how he wants to bring in Project 2025. We know that is not true. That is a lie. Donald Trump has distanced himself from that. The Heritage Foundation has said he has nothing to do with it, but they say these things anyway. What Donald Trump has been talking about is we're going to fix our borders. We're going to have a great economy again. We're going to get out of these conflicts. We're going to make America great again. That is his rhetoric. So I think if you compare the nastiness from Kamala Harris's campaign and from the Democrat Party compared to what we've been talking about really for the last 9 years, but specifically the last year and a half in this campaign, no, I do not agree that it is the same rhetoric. There's no moral equivalency in the rhetoric between these two campaigns.
I think any serious person would also say, Congressman, that Donald Trump is a source of heated and dangerous rhetoric over months and years. I mean, even Republicans who support him and are voting for him this election have basically begged him to tone it down. So if Republicans who even support you say that you've got a problem, you need to tone it down, you've got a mayor in Springfield, Ohio, saying you guys need to tone it down because we now have bomb threats on schools in our area. There's a problem also, in the general rhetoric of the campaign that the term that is often criticized, but that if you want to say both sides should address, but right, logically?
Well, actually, let's dig into this a little bit more. And thank you for bringing this up. Yes, we've heard from the Springfield mayor, and nobody wants bomb threats or anything like that. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have been talking about reports coming out of Springfield. J.D. Vance represents the state of Ohio. He's talking about things that his constituents have brought to him. But let's compare that to the fact that Kamala Harris in a debate last week, she lied about Donald Trump's bloodbath comments. Why did she say that? Because she wants to invoke a negative energy around the campaign of Donald Trump, frankly, to affect these undecided voters that we talked about at the top.
There
What
could
is
be
she
a lot
talk
of fact.
about?
I mean, Congressman, you and I have gone back and forth a lot about like fact checking that can happen.
Kate, can you acknowledge that Kamala Harris lied about the Charlottesville comments again? Something that even Snopes has debunked and said is fake news, that it is wrong, that his statements were taken out of context. Those are the direct lies coming from Kamala Harris. So if you're
She won't acknowledge that because she's a complete hack and a fake reporter, just saying it how it is. What I wish Byron brought up to her when she made that bullshit statement about how people are causing bomb threats because they talk about the crazy situation with the Haitian migrants in Ohio. What about when Bernie Sanders said that the blood is on the hands of Republicans because they don't agree with him on health care? Shortly after that, you had the congressional baseball shooting happen. Are we going to blame Bernie on that? Say his rhetoric caused those people to die? I personally wouldn't, but if this reporter had any ounce of moral integrity, she would have been throwing that in Bernie Sanders' face. Of course, she didn't, as we all know, nor did anybody on that fake news network. All that to say, Byron is playing way too nice with this lady. Call her out for the liar and fraud she is. I'm serious.
You're going to talk about the invective put into this campaign that Kamala Harris and her campaign has done, trying to invoke a negative response from voters in our country, versus Donald Trump talking about issues, whether it be in a city or, quite frankly, you could bring up Aurora, Colorado, or you could bring up Denver, Colorado, that have been overrun by illegal immigrants.
There are lots of things that can be brought up, which is also, if you're talking about lies and you're talking about comparisons, you can talk about a long list of lies. We could walk through it. I don't think it is to the benefit of voters right now for me to walk through to remind them of the lies that Donald Trump has told in the past. Case in point, eating dogs and pets, or lots of other things.
There are lots of lies being brought up, but apparently not any of the ones that help Republicans, or more importantly, harm Democrats. It's funny how that works, guys. But hey, fake news gonna fake news, you know? What are you gonna do? It's nothing new after all. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. As always, please be sure to comment below. Let us know what you liked about the video, what kind of content you want to see in the future, and we'll see you guys again soon. Thanks so much for tuning in, and God bless.